And we are live on the Dougherty Show. It's a little bit different today, though. Not only do I have brother Dan, but I got Chris Moore, who opens every door on the show today. I got Jonathan Miller. He's a killer, not really, but he's on the show as well. And we're going to be talking about Batman, the 2020 movie that just came out, everyone's thoughts on it, reviews, and some speculation for the future. Jonathan's cruising in his car right now. I think he just got back from the gym, trying to get those gains.
Getting some better lighting,
How you guys all doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What about you, Chris? How you doing?
Really good, man. Just taking it easy.
Awesome. Danny?
I'm doing great. Doing awesome.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I'll start with you, Chris. What are your thoughts on the new Batman? What'd you think of it?
Dude, so I went into this movie like the hype level was, at the top. I've been waiting. I think the trailer came out like almost 2 years before the release date, and then COVID happened and got pushed back. And then it like exceeded my expectations. I loved every minute of it. The 3-hour runtime didn't I didn't get bored at all. It was awesome seeing like a different kind of take. Maybe if I had to think of some kind of negatives to say about it, there's maybe one or two things, but like nothing major. I think they did like a fantastic job with it.
All right, cool. What about you, Jonathan?
So the first time I saw it, I really enjoyed it, but I had some mixed reviews, or mixed feelings, I should say. There were some things I didn't love, but then I went back and saw it the second time and just kind of soaked it in for what it was, and it grew on me. There were some aspects I absolutely loved. There were a few things that I could still do without, but as a whole, man, absolutely fantastic movie. And I like that it felt more like almost like a dark, twisted, like psycho mystery thriller that just happened to have Batman in it versus a comic book Batman movie. So I thought that was, an interesting feel to it for sure.
Awesome. Good take. What about you, Danny? How'd you feel about it?
Oh man, I was a little nervous at first seeing Twilight way back in the day. I'm watching it. I'm like, wow, Robert Pattinson really is a vampire by day and a bat during the night. It was great. I mean, the 3 hours a little long for me personally, but I like the whole detective side of things and how dark it was. One thing I did not like though, there wasn't a lot of action scenes. I could have done a little bit more with that to make the pace of the movie go a little faster.
Yeah. Honestly, though, in my opinion, when I was watching it, I really didn't notice that it was 3 hours. There's been movies I've watched before. I'm like, dude, is this fucking shit over yet? Nah, it's still got another 2 hours left. I didn't have that feeling when I was watching. I was really engaged the whole time. I mean, yeah, there were some talking scenes here and there. Does need a little bit more action, but I believe if I remember the first Dark Knight movie, didn't have as much action either. So, and then just like you, I was kind of like dogging it before I even went into it just because of the whole Twilight thing. I'm like, this guy, he's going to be Batman. Is he going to be good? I don't know. We'll find out. But there's a couple things that I noticed throughout the movie that I took notes on as I was watching it. And a couple of them, I guess we could start it. Was what did Batman inject himself with? I'll start with you, Danny. Did you see that?
Which part are you talking about? Like what he injected himself with?
Yeah,
I did. I just think it was part of his Batman utility belt kind of thing. You know what? Maybe like a little adrenaline rush, maybe some kind of medical compound that he created in his vampire / bat cave. And I don't know, maybe some need to get a little rush in while he was hurt, so he could save his love interest in Selena Kyle. So I don't know.
That's true. Sure. What about you, Chris? What'd you think?
About what he injected himself with?
Yeah.
It had to be, I don't know, some kind of adrenaline or something, dude. Because I think that was right after he took like that double barrel to the gut.
Yeah,
that's another thing I loved about this movie is how many times he gets shot. Like he's just always getting shot left and right.
Ass whooped.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it was legit. I mean, and just the way he comes up, like full enraged after taking that. I don't know, it was awesome.
What about you, Jonathan?
Honestly, I think it was some C4 pre-workout. Shameless plug there. keep some sponsors. But realistically, I figured it was some sort of like adrenaline compound or something. I don't know how it's so possible because he took that thing to the chest like nobody's business. But hey, it's Batman. What are you gonna do?
True,
Yeah.
true, very true. Well, during the movie, another thing that I saw, I liked Penguin's character a lot. Like,
He
I
killed
don't
it.
know, man. It gave me that like Boston feel in a way, you know, like I don't know, I just liked his character. But
Yeah.
how do you guys think he's going to become the Gotham's new crime boss? I'll start with you, Chris. How do you think he's going to become the new crime boss?
I mean, it's up for grabs now. I mean, he's probably just gonna like take over the club, do whatever he's got to do. I mean, somebody's got to take the spot. I mean, why not him? Dude, the Penguin killed in that movie. You can't even tell it's Colin Farrell.
No, not at all.
He was definitely a major highlight of that movie. But I mean, the way they had him in that movie, I will definitely enjoy like seeing him in the next one, like running things. But I don't know. I'm like fully invested.
I dead ass didn't even know it was Colin Farrell until you just said it. I'm like, wait,
Crazy.
It was
Yeah.
Colin.
Right.
That's Colin Farrell.
Yeah, I didn't know until the credits.
Yeah. Sure, that I should have watched the credits. What about you, Jonathan? What do you think? How do you become the new crime boss?
Man, I've heard rumors that maybe there will be a little trilogy. So I think the next movie is going to be him, solely making moves, whacking people up, killing people. Been watching too much Sopranos lately. It's been on my HBO nonstop. But no, I think it's going to be more of a power struggle. I can see him kind of stepping in, but I think there's going to be other players coming in that are going to, be rising up. One thing I loved about Penguin's character is it wasn't as like grotesque. It just felt like this, behemoth of a man, this kind of, larger than life figure that was stepping up. It didn't feel like it was too gimmicky. I thought it was a fantastic gangster portrayal of a character that we've seen before. I thought Colin Farrell put the perfect spin on it. I'm actually really excited to see what happens in the future, for sure.
Absolutely. What about you, Danny? How do you think he's going to become the new crime boss?
I think it's just going to start whacking people as well. And I love how they got the imagery of the Penguin down because they got the whole Danny DeVito fish-eating mofo out of my mind because I kept thinking of the Michael Keaton Batmans. And then when I saw Colin Farrell, I'm like, it was perfect.
Yeah.
I agree. I feel like he was more human in a way. I feel like all the other previous Batmans that we've had, they've kind of done some outlandish things. They're kind of like, I don't know if that could really happen. But this one felt like more real. Like this could be your neighborhood Spider-Man, but like your actual,
like an actual, it could really be happening. Yeah. A lot more grounded in reality.
Mm-hmm. And
sure.
that just surprised me. That was Colin Farrell. No wonder he did so great, dude. Like I'm just thinking about that for a second now. Like, fuck. But how I think he'll be the crime boss, I think they're going to take it to another level because one thing I've noticed about DC is they have some really gruesome scenes, and it's going to get more gruesomer, in my opinion. I feel that he, like, all the, like, for example, I watch Gotham on, I forgot what channel it is. I think it's like the CW. It's like before everything happens. And it kind of makes Penguin seem like a little bitch half the time. And it's kind of annoying. And I fucking hate it. And I'm glad that in this movie, they didn't mean to make him seem that way. I feel like in every movie he's portrayed, he's kind of a bitch. And this one was not the case. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, I'll be honest, there was something about it that maybe it was just the size and the domineering personality. Kind of reminded me of a little bit of Kingpin from the MCU.
Yeah.
Just kind of that gangster, like maybe before Kingpin became, the head honcho, but it kind of had that feel where he's making a move and he's about to step into something really powerful, and it's gonna be hard to press him for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna give.
What do you guys think of
that aura? Like, yeah. But go ahead, Nick. I mean, Chris.
What do you guys think of when Gordon and Batman they're interrogating him? Right, they got him tied up and they leave him there, and he's like waddling off. He's like waddling like a penguin. Did you catch that?
I didn't.
They got his like feet. They got his feet tied up and everything. No. Yeah.
I didn't
they
catch
take off. He's like, "What are you gonna? Yeah, you're gonna untie me?" And he's just like waddling like a penguin. Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Too many popcorn breaks for me.
Yeah, I had to use the bathroom.
You have plenty of time. 3 hours.
Yeah, you guys think Catwoman's gonna return?
Oh, definitely.
probably.
Yeah, because
So, like,
I was reading and everything that I've heard. This isn't supposed to be like fully fledged Catwoman. This is still Selena Kyle kind of becoming, Catwoman and taking those steps to really become the burglar that we know in the comics. So I think she might be back. I don't know if it'll be the next movie, but I could see her maybe even having a smaller role and then coming back and being like something big in the third movie. Which I think that'd be cool. I hate when movies bring back the same characters over and over sometimes. For me, if they're gonna do a new trilogy, give me something new. I don't want recycled characters every time, even though I love them. Let's get something new.
Yeah, like all the remakes and stuff. I get it.
Yeah,
Something different, so you can
exactly,
gives you more to talk about.
exactly.
Do you guys think that Bruce blames himself for his parents' death? I'll start with Danny. What do you think?
Well, I didn't kind of get that vibe from him in this film like I did in the Dark Knight trilogy. I think he's more like kind of like sheltered himself off after his parents' death, and that's kind of how like you get his Bruce Wayne persona. It's kind of like, I'm not gonna go out there. I'm not gonna talk to anybody. I'm in YouTube being the Batman. I'm just gonna keep on fighting crime, crime, crime. I don't think he blames himself. I think he's just more mad at the fact of everything that happened, and he just wants to get all that aggression out. That's how I kind of got the feel from it, at least.
Okay. What about you, Chris?
I mean, I definitely agree with you. Like he's definitely mad because I mean, throughout the movie, like even watching like other reviews of stuff, like he's not really Bruce Wayne at all in the movie. Like even when he's out of the suit, he's still Batman. But I mean, I still think he blames himself. I mean, that's pretty. Like everybody knows Batman's origin story, right? Everybody knows what happens with his parents. Pretty sure. I feel like he blames himself, but he's definitely pissed off. He's still in that early stage. Doesn't have his Bruce Wayne down yet.
Yep. 2 years in.
But yep. Yeah, definitely angry. But I don't know. The way they ended it though, it seems like he might be on his path to figuring it out.
What he's doing. Yeah. What about you, Jonathan?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think they made some good points. Something I liked about it is the fact that they just kind of jumped over the death. We've seen it over in movies and TV shows, and I mean, it was acknowledged that they were killed. We know what happened, but I feel like his anger comes from that guilt, and maybe that's just my impressions from everything before, but I feel like he definitely was a little guilty. And then I think obviously through the movie, some things come out about his family. And I think that guilt and anger starts to turn into more questioning and like, hey, what am I doing here? I think it was Chris that said something about we don't, see Batman very often or Bruce Wayne very often at all. And, by the end of it, we see this different side. He's kind of, he realized, hey, it's got to be more than vengeance. So I think that anger started to subside when he realized, hey, my parents weren't perfect. So he stops almost idolizing them to that top tier level, you know what I mean? And realize we're all human and I've got to do more than just be pissed off. And I think that Bruce Wayne mask is going to be a lot more useful in the future movies. I think he's going to really utilize that and play up that character, in the future films for sure.
Absolutely. I like that answer. Jonathan, who do you think Riddler's new friend is going to be, or who is it?
Are you talking at the very end in the jail cell?
Very end.
Or in Arkham? I mean, obviously, I think they're implying that it's going to be the Joker. I'll be honest. I could have been fine without that inclusion just because we've seen so many iterations. I mean, we just had the Joker movie. Jerome on Gotham played a pretty good Joker, the kid from Shameless. So I don't know. I actually think it would be a cool twist to maybe not be the actual Joker, but maybe they play up Red Hood or a different Batman villain that is maybe Jason Todd. Maybe I don't know, somebody that's taken the persona of the Joker in some shape or form, but maybe not that character directly, maybe some different alias. I think that'd be a cool iteration to if they're gonna do it, like give us something a little different.
Okay. What about you, Chris?
It would definitely be cool. I mean, if it was somebody else, but I mean, if you're betting money, it's got to be the Joker, right? I mean, I myself, I could have done without it. I didn't need that. I mean, I guess it was like cool to see. I mean, like he said, we just got Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. I mean, at the same time, I mean, it's Batman. I mean, everybody wants the Joker. So I forgot the guy's name who played him. He was in the new Eternals movie. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of it.
Like Druid or something like that. Was
Yeah,
the name
Druid.
Of the movie?
Yeah,
that guy.
No, the guy that controlled mine. That's crazy. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know.
I mean, that guy seems like a good actor. I think he was in Dunkirk too.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm open to seeing like what they could do, especially because I think there's like a pretty cool like comic storyline when like the Riddler and the Joker team up. But I mean, I don't know. They go and show them, they break out, do something stupid. I mean, Gotham's like flooded now, so I mean, anything could happen.
That would be interesting.
What about you, Danny?
First off, I want to add something to the parents, Batman's parents.
Oh, yeah, sure.
If he really wanted to save them, all he had to do was bite them and turn them into vampires. But I rest my case. I think it was the Joker, but then after thinking back on it, I think it might have been Two-Face. I know they had a little laughter at the end. So,
I could see that being Two-Face.
That would be interesting.
So that's another question. If he was in there, like, and why is he in there? I don't know. That's a good one. I like that.
I mean, we didn't really get him in the Dark Knight trilogy besides the end of towards the film. Like, how about a full film with him?
Yeah.
Not like a funny comedy one like Tommy Lee Jones or anything. Something a little bit more dark.
Has there question, because you guys probably know more about this than I do, but has there been any other like team ups with the Riddler? Like, I'm sure there's other villains that have been in the comics that have teamed up with the Riddler in Arkham.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, honestly, oh man, I'm sure they have. Don't they form some sort of like villainous squad outside of the Suicide Squad at some point? I don't know. I want to say Sinister Six, but I know that's Marvel. I can't remember.
I know that there's like some other stuff. I know they could like piggyback off some stuff. I can't. It's called Hush. That's like a whole storyline. I know there's like an animated movie. There's a comic of that too. It's like I forgot the other dude's name, but I know he kind of like uses Riddler. I mean, that's a great story. But I mean, Riddler's the shit, dude.
So much fun to speculate on that. I wonder who it's going to be.
And if they do a trilogy on this film, they should bring in Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze. Just saying.
I love it. I would love
to have Mr. Freeze in there. I've never been a fan of Poison Ivy though. I think it's only because the Gotham series of Poison Ivy, I just hated her so much in the entire season with Selena Kyle.
I stopped watching it after I saw that emo penguin. I'm like, nope.
Nope. How do you think they're going to escape? I'll start with you, Chris.
I mean, you got a whole bunch of options. I mean, they could throw in like Harley Quinn. She helps him escape. Who else is there in Arkham like to help him like break out? I mean, if they already showed Joker that quick, I mean, I'm sure they're bound to show somebody else super quick in the second movie. Maybe like the Riddler's like goes on trial for some of the shit that he's done, right? Some kind of happens like that, breaks out. I mean, they could literally do anything.
Crazy. All right, what about you, Jonathan?
So, and I know they had him in the Dark Knight series as well, but I think in some capacity they could bring in like Scarecrow. You know, maybe they form some sort of weird alliance while they're in there, and then, you know, whether it be at a court date and, you know, and he gets him out, or, you know, something crazy happens, you know, having somebody on the outside. You know, I think they're going to align themselves with somebody that's supposed to be in a position of power. I hope it's not Harley Quinn. I hope like they don't make friends with her during therapy, and then, you know, we just got that, you know what I mean? So,
right.
But I can see like Scarecrow. Man, honestly, if that is the Joker and Riddler, who knows? Man, they probably already got something set up. They probably got caught on purpose, to be honest. So
yeah, because
we just gotta wait and find out, I guess.
He did kind of get caught on purpose because he had all those bombs blow up.
It had everything. And then, I mean, realistically, I mean, he, set up the apartment to get caught, ran to a coffee shop and just sat there. No, I mean, he put the question mark in his cup. Like, I feel like we knew he was going to get arrested and he didn't struggle. Like, so I think that was more planned than anything, which is a little more alarming, but I guess we'll see.
He's got some tricks up his sleeve, that's for sure.
For sure.
What about you, Danny?
This is what I think. And first and foremost, if you didn't at the end of the film, did you guys catch that the other villain gave the Joker? I mean, not the Joker, the Riddler, his little catchphrase. Riddle me this.
No, I didn't catch that.
I remember.
That's his catchphrase in like the comics and stuff.
Who gave that to him again?
The guy that he was talking to in the cell. He's like,
oh,
me this.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
But this is what I think's gonna happen. Like you said, it was planned. He got arrested. I think if you remember, they're on the computer and they're deciphering to get in his information and database and everything. And then he had a lot of followers and everything at the end of the film. I think he's gonna have followers inside of Arkham. It's gonna possibly a possibility since he's like a psychiatrist or whatever. I think he's gonna help them escape or help all of them escape. I think it's gonna have a lot of followers that build up after going forward in the next film. So I think he's gonna have his own like little fan base that helps him escape out of Arkham. So
gotcha. Like kind of like in like the Gotham series where I think the Joker, when he was breaking out of Arkham, he had all these like I don't know, super villains going out and destroy the city so they can distract him from what was really going on.
Right.
Another question I had was Alfred Thomas Wayne's bodyguard? I'll start with you, Chris.
His bodyguard?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, I think he was like still his butler, but like he could have been. I think they kind of implied that he was the one that trained Bruce because I think he says to him like he trained him or something in the movie. Real quick, I mean, we definitely did not get enough Alfred in this movie. I'll just say that he only in it for like 3-4 scenes maybe.
Yeah, especially for that long of a movie.
Right. And but I think he says something along the lines of like he trained him or he didn't train him for that. I don't know. So it seems like he kind of knows what he's doing. And he mentioned something too when he's doing the cipher. Something, he said his circus days. Whatever the hell that means. But yeah, I could see him being the bodyguard.
Sure.
He seemed to be more than just your average butler.
Dead ass. What about you, Danny?
I think he trained him a little bit in fighting and stuff. That's what I got out of it, at least. I mean, seemed like more of a protector than a butler. Someone that he could find it in. And he was really smart, too. I know Batman's more of a detective in this one, but they don't give enough credit to Alfred for being like a detective in himself, deciphering all that Riddler's codes and such.
Oh, yeah, it's true, yeah.
So I think he might be kind of a secret badass in himself, you know what I mean? So
sure.
I think he's for sure his bodyguard. Absolutely.
Probably need to give Alfred a little bit of a bigger role, honestly.
Definitely.
What about you, Jonathan?
So I hadn't really thought about that, but something that they, touched on during the movie, a few scenes, Bruce was like, you're not my father. They didn't have that almost like loving role that you see in some of the other movies where they were a lot closer. This one felt almost like they were more teacher student and there was like that barrier. And so I definitely thought he was more of a trainer, a protector, maybe some sort of guide to teach him how to, I don't know, move past his anger. I'm not really sure, but I know in other movies they've kind of touched on, like Michael Caine in The Dark Knight. He talked about, we encountered this guy cutting through the jungle looking for so-and-so. And, so I think they've touched on the fact that he might have been like a mercenary or some sort of military man back in the day, with some sort of like black ops training. I mean, he seems to have some sort of background beyond your typical even martial arts or butler training for sure. So I think a bodyguard would be an interesting take because he's not as loving towards Bruce as they don't have that like super sweet relationship like they have in the past.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Maybe the circus party he's referring to is him going through the butler training in general.
It's something like that.
Do you guys think Gordon's going to become the police commissioner? I'll start with you, Danny.
Absolutely. Gordon's always the police commissioner.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it's just a no-brainer right there.
But what if he's not?
I feel like you're taking away from the source material, though. I mean, but if you switched it up and did something completely different that no one would expect, I'd be okay with that too. Something different. But I think it'd also be a disrespect to the comic writers as well. So I'm a little iffy on that. So.
What about you, John?
Yeah, I mean, I think eventually he'll get his promotions. I mean, just like the Dark Knight series, I think he's going to work his way up the ranks. Something crazy will happen and he'll get promoted. But I do agree. I mean, they could do something a little different, where maybe he gets killed, or something happens and that motivates Bruce to do something. And yeah, I don't know, but if I'm not mistaken, doesn't he have a daughter in the Gotham series? Isn't like or in the comic, like Barbara, yeah. So maybe he gets killed and she works her way up in the police force. Maybe that'd be a little twist, But
she becomes this thing called the Oracle.
Yeah, I think we'll get a Commissioner Gordon at some point, but who knows if they'll do something different.
Okay, what about you, Chris? What do you think? I gotta kick my dog. I mean, yeah, he's definitely gonna be commissioner. I mean, well, the commissioner dies in the movie. Did they show his second one? So his replacement?
I don't think they did.
I don't know
if they ever named it or what. I can't remember. Okay. Yeah, because the commissioner dies pretty early on.
Yeah.
He's the dude that gets like the saw thing put on his head. The rats eat his face, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think if anything, they might just like wait until the entire end of the trilogy and then promote him to commissioner, and then we just speculate on what's going to happen after that.
Sure.
Lastly, I want to ask you guys is throughout this entire movie, he was pretty much predicated, Batman being like towards vengeance, like he wanted to get vengeance towards everything. You guys think that they're going to switch? Like, do you think Batman will shift that focus to be more heroic? I'll start with you, Danny.
Well, first off, if you guys missed the end credit scene, Bella came out and beat the shit out of Catwoman for kissing Batman. Just saying.
Wait, what?
I'm just fucking with you, Twilight. All right, more heroic. Yeah, he was helping everybody at the end. But he seemed like he was helping everybody out of the water. People were kind of like, hey, he reached his hand out to the mayor. She didn't want to kind of like grab it at first to get out. And he's like, oh, I can kind of trust this guy. And then at the end, he's kind of talking a little bit. It sounds like he's leaning more from vengeance to being more heroic. And his whole view on things have changed. Maybe this is not what he needs to do. Maybe he needs more like a protector of the city. Yeah. Someone that could save and not be that do things just for vengeance.
Sure. Yeah, gotcha. What about you, Chris? What do you think?
I mean, I think it's probably going to be a mix. I mean, it seems like what they're going to do. I remember like watching it in the theater. I kind of like when he was doing his voiceover, talking about that, got like Superman vibes. Like it kind of didn't like, I don't know. His monologue kind of didn't feel like Batman. Kind of felt like some Superman would say. But I mean, I could see him doing that because I mean, he kind of gets that where the one Riddler follower, like when he takes off his mask and he's like, I'm vengeance. Like he's vengeance too. So he kind of sees like he can't just do that. People, I don't know. But I could see him, being more heroic, I guess you could say.
Okay. What about you, Jonathan?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I know I touched on it a little bit earlier. I think his shift is going to be less just pure anger and vengeance. I think he's realized, and he even says it in the movie, I've been doing this 2 years and I've been vengeance and crime's going up. What am I doing? Why, and it's going to have a correlation where the crazier he gets, the crazier they're going to get. So I think he's going to shift, away from just pure anger. I think he's going to have more of a, maybe a slightly more compassionate side, but I think a lot of that's going to come from him also adopting the Bruce Wayne, aesthetic again and using that leverage that he has to, better the city from a monetary standpoint. Maybe he can develop the city while then fighting, crime on the, behind closed doors. And so I think he's going to, adopt that persona a little bit more, which will then, lighten his mood, hopefully a little bit. So we'll see.
I have a plot twist thinking. I think that he doesn't become more heroic. I have a feeling that he's going to like continue down this path and eventually he'll get to that point, but it'll be like the realization at the end of maybe the third movie of the trilogy. I feel like he's going to keep going down this and
Keeps
he might
falling
have
into
a dark, like villainous type thing, but still the hero because he's Batman, of course.
Yeah.
That's just my take on it.
I can see that, where I can see the next movie where he starts, maybe he's trying to be good, something crazy happens, and then, he just regresses into this like pissed off mood. And maybe by the end of that or the next movie, he's like, it's not working. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Anything else you guys want to add?
Yes, I do. I wouldn't be mad, and I don't want to use the word sidekick, but if they make more films going forward with that character, that actor, Robert Pattinson, I wouldn't mind if they brought like Batgirl or Robin in.
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
I mean, I kind of got Robin vibes with like the mayor's kid, how they kept like showing him, and then he like saves him at the end. That too. But what I was going to say.
Well, not even Robin. What's the other one?
What'd you think of the Batmobile?
Say that again, Chris.
What'd you think of the Batmobile?
I don't know. It's gonna.
You didn't like it?
It's gonna warm up to me, man. I'm still used to the old ones, man.
The tanks, yeah.
Yeah. Fucking
guy. Hey, but you know what? Michael Keaton was driving around in a Corvette, so
Yeah, true. He trashed that bitch too, man.
He really did.
Just to save someone's life. So stupid.
Yeah.
What a waste of a Corvette.
Oh, it's crazy. One thing I will say, a thought that I had, and everybody was talking about even before this movie, they were saying, oh, it's going to showcase him being the best detective. And it definitely, we got more detective Batman than we have in the past. But I honestly didn't think that the Riddler's jokes and riddles were that tough. And a lot of it to me wasn't him being all detective-y. Like he just walked in with Gordon, he's just standing around the crime scene. It wasn't like him sneaking in, in the, disguise of night. It was him just walking in and people have been like, what the fuck is this dude doing here? So for me, that part actually was hit or miss. I would have loved to see him like actually just, sneaking in a lot more when people aren't around. We got a little bit of that, but I didn't know how I felt about him just walking into these crime scenes. I felt like it took away a little bit of that like mystery persona that Batman's supposed to have. But honestly, still fantastic. It was just a cool take.
What about you, Chris? Anything else you want to add?
Maybe a hot take. I love Zoe Kravitz, but for some reason, I wasn't really feeling Selena Kyle.
Really?
I feel like their chemistry kind of, I don't know. For me, like I think she did a good job. I just feel like she didn't need to be there almost. I don't know.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Danny, anything else you want to add to it?
Yeah. Now thinking about it, when Riddler's talking to that villain in the cell, it could potentially be the Joker now that I think about it, because in the beginning of the Batman film, who is he beating up on? Guys in makeup looking like clowns. So could be the henchman. Now
maybe cause a little brain damage or something. One of those guys in there.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. Yeah.
What I want to see in like the next couple movies, because I like the detective side of things. I'm kind of like you, like when he was going in with Gordon, I want to see more stuff outside of the cops and stuff, or he's just like he finds clues, kind of like like CSI in a way, I guess.
Right.
Like, kind of integrate that in there, like where he just uses his somewhat of the technology that him and Alfred have to find things that help that the cops can't do, but he doesn't have his own. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, you know what with that detective thing, one thing that really kind of I almost felt frustrated with, at the end of the movie, he really isn't even the reason, the Riddler got caught. The Riddler set him up for everybody to, show up at the apartment. He wanted them to find it. And then it came down to an anonymous tip that somebody was like, yo, somebody saw this guy sneaking out the fire escape. He's at the coffee shop. So even if the Riddler was or was not supposed to get caught, Batman really didn't catch him. Somebody gave a tip and the cop showed up and Batman just walks up to the window like, So like he didn't even get the guy. So that was one thing I was like, man, he didn't even catch the dude again.
Makes
But,
him more human, though.
yeah, you're not wrong. 100%. It makes him more human.
He's
For
even
sure,
a good detective if the Riddler pretty much just did it for him the whole time.
He just
Hot take.
He's out of here. But I appreciate you guys joining the show today, man. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
Nope.
No, sir.
All right, man. Well, he's probably like, damn, I didn't mean to get cut off like that, but it's all good. We're about to end the show anyways, though. But I appreciate you guys being on the show today. Everyone, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That is below. Also, be sure to hit that like button as well. Chris is going to be on here in the future. You know, if we have any other, movies we want to
Whatever.
any other
Anything.
Anything in general.
I talk sports too.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah,
There we go.
does it all. Does the whole shebang. Obviously, Dan will be back on the show, but I appreciate you guys being on, man. Deuces.
Thanks for having me. Peace.
All right, Danny. Good show today, man.
It was good.
Real good show, man. I liked it a lot of insight, and we're at 36 minutes exactly right now, so we're gonna end this shit. Appreciate everybody listening. It's the motherfucking Dougherty Show, baby.
Appreciate it, y'all. Thank you.
Bad man.